we are joined by the Heartland girls basketball coach to wrap up the show. It is Justin Rahim, and he is joining us on Running Point. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here finally. Thank you.
Coach, I think no doubt. Looking at your team last year, I think record doesn't speak for how competitive they were in a majority of that matchups. And looking at the team this year, you had a very young team last year too, bringing back what we would expect a lot of those players from last year. What is the team kind of looking like this year, and how excited are you for the growth and development of these younger girls coming into this season?
Well, I think you touched on it. Our record really doesn't reflect on uh, how much progress and how competitive we were last year. I believe the year before that, they won the same amount of games, but they lost 4 or 5. We lost 4 or 5 seniors before my arrival. But my first year being there last year, I think we had 12 girls total, and about 7 or 8 of them were freshmen. And then I had a couple juniors, and then I had a senior. So yes, I get most of my players back this year. It's actually funny. I lose a Reynolds, but I gain a Reynolds. I lost Julia Reynolds last year, my senior post player. But then this incoming season, I gained her sister, Rachel. So I'm definitely excited about that. Just going into this season so far, we had an okay summer. We did a lot of camps and things like that, and did a lot of scrimmages. But as far as having everybody back, it's definitely a huge plus. Gives us another year to stay together. The girls already kind of know my system, but we tweaked a lot of stuff this off season, especially offensively is concerned. And I'm definitely excited to have everybody back and bring on Rachel. I think Rachel's going to be huge for us. I think she has some areas of where she can improve, but I'm definitely excited to have her this season.
Coach, one player we have to bring up is Maddie Matthews and the things that she was able to do last year, some records that she was able to break. What can she kind of do this year to keep developing and be an even better player than we saw last year?
Oh well, last year Maddie took huge strides all across the board. Points wise, rebounds wise, passing the ball. Her sophomore year, she averaged around 9 points and 9 to 10 points a game. And then her junior year, my first year there, she pretty much doubled her stats to about 20 points a game. I think the biggest thing for Maddie this year is going to be making her teammates better and just recognizing a good shot from a great shot. I think sometimes a lot of good players, a lot of great players that are expected to score, they don't understand the difference between finding that great shot. When you always have the ball in your hands, most coaches and fans think that, a good shot is anytime they take a shot. But it's going to be a key for her this season to control the tempo of the game, make her teammates better, and not just taking a shot just because, she's expected to take a shot. But, when it comes to heart and when it comes to dedication, when it comes to commitment, Maddie is probably the best player that I've coached, best player that I've been upon. She's one of the first players in the gym. She's the last one to leave the gym. She's always seeking ways to get better. I know she took an absurd amount of shots this summer, close to about 30,000 shots this summer, just working on her game, trying to add different aspects of her game. And another area, where she's going to make huge strides is at defensively. I think as the best player on the team, or player that gets a lot of attention, you have to do it on both sides of the ball. So I think if Maddie's able to do that, she's going to take her game to another level.
Obviously, being independent and when you have a lot of younger players, it helps that you can kind of schedule the way you guys really want to have competition levels. And talking about your schedule, we see you guys are kind of facing a wider range of opponents. Talking about it, though, how effective do you think this schedule is going to be in developing these players and getting them ready come tournament time?
That's huge for us. The schedule this year, I think our first 4 games, I think that's going to push us and test us. We opened up with Latonia November 19th. they're always a good team to go against, and then we follow that up with Columbiana on that following Tuesday. I think the biggest key for us entering this season is going to be just mental toughness. Once we get over the hurdles of playing tough competition, I think we'll be okay the rest of the season. Even last year, like I said, our record doesn't reflect on how competitive we were, but I feel like last year we gave away probably about 6 or 7 games just off of mental toughness and learning how to close basketball games out. And as a team and as a coaching staff, you learn little wrinkles, you see things you could have done. Hindsight is always 20/20, but you learn. So I think the biggest thing for us this season is just no matter who we play, just learning as we go along and not making the same mistakes each quarter, each play, and then moving on to each game. I think if we're able to do that, we'll be okay.
Coach, second season with the program, and that is usually when coaches can really start to see their philosophy and their culture kind of take into the program. What kind of culture points do you want to see start developing within this team? And not just in the basketball court, but outside the basketball court that you want to see really develop from a culture standpoint?
I think my last year was being my first year. I think the girls, as far as my philosophy and culture, I think they picked up on it pretty quickly. And as far as a collective sense, I think they understand how competitive I am. So I would say it kind of took them a while to get them to see that, Heartland in the past was a team that a lot of other teams, a lot of opponents didn't respect or didn't just came to the game and said, Heartland's the win. I think last year I kind of got them to see that, no matter who you're playing, no matter who you have on your team, you only can control what you can control, and you always can control how hard you play, and you can go out there and compete. It's not about how many shots you can take or things along that line. But I was raised that if you go out there and compete and try your best, the little things take care of itself, and it always does. And as the season went along and we started playing little tougher teams, that was able to show that we would get down 15, 17, 18 points, and the game may have seemed over. Then I look at the clock, look at the scoreboard, and we're right back right within it, right in the game again. So I think my philosophy with them has just been stay the course, weather the storm, not just on the court, off the court as well. You're going to face hurdles. You're going to go through trials and tribulations on and off the court. And I think they're starting to understand that, as long as you do what you can control, everything else is going to take care of itself.
I think no doubt, too, you guys are going to benefit this year with having things opened up a little bit more and having the community being able to support you. As we know, the Heartland community is very, very strong. Shout out how much support is going to help this young, heavy team, as well as give a sales pitch to anyone on the fence and attending some games why this team's going to be exciting to watch this year and why they should get out and catch some Lady Lions games.
From my standpoint, I think they should come out because, we're going to compete every night. I tell the girls all the time, I don't care if we're playing a team in our division or we're playing a Division I team or a WNBA team. It doesn't matter to me. We're going to show up every night and compete. And I think that's the biggest sales pitch that I hear also from Coach Scott, the boys coach. I think that's he sets that tone on the other side that, just show up and compete. And I think this season, by the girls seeing where they were last year, they know that this is a make or break season for them, especially my seniors. Next year, this time, you won't be there. You won't be able to put that uniform on. That you can put it on, but it won't mean anything, So I think this season is going to show a lot of fans, hopefully, and the media that, Heartland girls basketball is for real. I don't know. I hope so, but I don't think that may not necessarily translate to wins every night. But I believe if we show up and play, as far as the wins, I think the wins will take care of itself.
Coach, before we let you go, I do want to give you the chance to highlight your coaching staff and the people that are kind of working with you and the people that are essential to making this program what it is?
My assistant is Alicia Dean. She's returning from last season. I tell my athletic director all the time, Alicia is one of those coaches that you just can't describe her. I mean, she does a lot of things behind the scenes that are fantastic to me. She's probably the best coach that I've ever coached with. As far as her basketball mind, she has a very bright basketball mind. As far as her competitive nature, I tell her all the time, me and her, we always see the same things, and it's crazy, even when we're going over things in practice that we want to correct. Once I stop or blow the whistle, whatever the case may be, we always look at each other because we always know whatever I say, she's going to say. So I just love how in tune me and her are. She's fantastic. She's balancing going to school. She currently goes to YSU and trying to coach and work. So she has a lot going on right now. But, I respect her tremendously. And I'm glad she's a part of my staff. Obviously, my athletic director, Mrs. Shields, she's a huge part of our team. I always tell her, she gave me a chance to have my first varsity gig, and I'm definitely blessed for her. And I reach out to a lot of different coaches. Obviously, Coach Scott, he's been coaching for umpteen years, so I could reach out to him, and just a lot of different mentors that I reach out to. I'm a young basketball coach, so it takes time. No matter how much you think you know the game, you always have to learn. You'd always have to learn. My mom always taught me that you got to crawl before you walk. So I always try to go out and seek information from other mentors, coaches that's been doing it for a long time, and just try to pick their brain to see where I can improve at.
Coach, I think we're all excited to see the development of your team this year and see them take that next step. And I think you got the right mentality for it. And I'm sure we're going to be talking to you again real soon. We love our coaches over there at Heartland.
Yes, I'm definitely excited. I'm glad you were able to have me today.
Thank you, Coach. We'll be talking to you again real soon.
Thank you. Take it easy.